Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, October 25th. Well, here's the latest on our tropical system over the Gulf of Mexico. It has become a little bit better organized in the overnight hours and is already interacting with a frontal system. There's a cold frontal system slowly moving from the west to the east, already kind of merging with this tropical system, and all of this tropical moisture will flow northward over the next couple of days, helping to produce a significant rainfall from the Gulf Coast all the way to the Ohio Valley. Some of that heavy rainfall will work its way into the Mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. during the day on Sunday. Here's the latest infrared imagery satellite loop from the Penn State EWAL site. Again, quite well organized here. Not a name system, and it really should not become a name system because it is already merging with a cold frontal system. You see this line of radar echoes here in the last couple of frames, right in this region right there. That is actually where the frontal system is, already merging with this tropical wave. So it's kind of a post-tropical system already. Whether or not National Hurricane Center names it or not doesn't really matter. It will produce some significant rainfall, again, from the northern Gulf Coast all the way up to the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. And then some of that heavy rainfall does work its way into the east on Sunday as that same cold frontal system slowly makes its way to the eastern seaboard. Don't be surprised if there's some severe thunderstorm activity later today across Louisiana, Mississippi, even Alabama, and into Georgia. Possibility later today in the Florida panhandle, of course, is included in that threat zone as well. So again, lots of tropical moisture now flowing to the north and merging with a frontal system. Well, here's the latest 5-day forecast map of total precipitation amounts by NOAA. In general agreement here with NOAA's thinking here, and again, a significant rain event right in this region right here, all associated with that tropical system, again combining with a frontal system. That front is now located right in this region right here. Slowly will move to the east over the next a couple of days, and it'll arrive in the eastern states during the day on Sunday, and that will help to produce a significant rain event in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Perhaps not quite as much as down along the Gulf Coast, but still a soaking rain event for Philadelphia, New York City, Boston during the day on Sunday, and decent rain event for D.C. as well, again, as that cold frontal system slowly moves from the west to the east and arrives along the Atlantic seaboard late in the upcoming weekend. So a lot going on in the eastern third of the nation, the eastern half of the nation, largely as a result of the tropical system now over the western Gulf of Mexico. Well, we mentioned up front about the possibility of some severe weather today. This is from the NOAA's Storm Prediction Center, where they believe there's a possibility of some severe weather. And again, really focused across southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi. But this whole region right in here could get some severe thunderstorm activity later on today into tonight, all associated with that northward moving tropical system now over the western part of the Gulf of Mexico. Well, here's the current surface map. High pressure still generally in control in the Mid-Atlantic region. The northeast U.S. should be a rain-free day here. Not bad weather at all tonight in D.C. for Game 3 of the World Series. Basically kind of a weak stalling out frontal system along the Pennsylvania-Maryland border and along the northeastern U.S. coastline. Now here's the frontal system we were alluding to earlier on, already interacting with the tropical wave, which is right in this region right here, and moving to the north. This low pressure area tends to intensify over the next day or two, moves to the north and east, and from this position it will swing a cold front towards the eastern seaboard late in the weekend, and that will help to produce some significant rainfall in the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. during the day on Sunday. So really, much of the eastern half of the nation will experience some significant rain over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Well, let's walk through last night's 6Z GFS model run. We're looking at the surface forecast maps Here is the position of the tropical wave in the western part of the Gulf of Mexico and moving to the north. Nice weather right now in the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., thanks to this high pressure which is shifting off the eastern seaboard. From this position, a stiff onshore flow of air across Florida and the rest of the southeastern U.S. coastline. Let's move forward here, and tropical moisture flows to the north. Strong low pressure starts to form here. And again, watch out for potential severe thunderstorm activity in the deep south associated with this tropical wave. This is the forecast map for late tonight and early tomorrow. This low pressure area heads towards the eastern Great Lakes, and the moisture starts to flow right through the Ohio Valley, and then by the time Sunday rolls around, we'll see some heavier rainfall starting to develop in the mid-Atlantic region. Low pressure over the eastern Great Lakes at that time will start to swing a cold frontal system towards the east coast, and the rain can get heavy at times, especially from the Pennsylvania-Maryland border on north, but even down in D.C. there could be some heavier rainfall during the day on Sunday. Probably gets out of the D.C. area by Sunday evening in case there is a Game 5, if necessary. If it's not a sweep, there will be a Game 5 on Sunday night. And again, watch out for some heavy rain up across New England during the day on Sunday, all associated with that frontal system moving to the east, combined with the tropical moisture flowing north. That kicks on out of here by the early part of next week, and basically rain-free conditions look like they'll move back into the eastern third of the nation as we begin the new work week. Well, let's look ahead now by looking at the ensemble run of the European model in the overnight hours at the 850 millibar temperature anomaly forecast maps at 24-hour increments. This is beginning with this evening, Friday evening, and again, yesterday we talked about accumulating snow across the panhandle region of Texas. That very cold air plunged all the way south into Texas and even into northern part of Mexico, way below normal for this time of the year there, relatively normal here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Let's now push forward here and talk about this next outbreak, and this is a real significant looking colder than normal outbreak by the early part of next week. This is the forecast map for Sunday night. Now let's go to Monday night and look at this. Some of these, the temperatures are 20, 30 degrees below normal for this time of the year, and when you have temperatures that far below normal, this is the Tuesday night forecast map, you can be assured that there'll be some low temperature records set. This is a very significant cold air outbreak for this time of the year. Don't be surprised if temperatures are down to the single digits in places like Denver, Colorado during the middle or latter part of the week. Now it stays warm in the eastern U.S. ahead of this cold shot that does get modified as it moves to the east. Here's the forecast map for Halloween night. Thursday night, still warm in the east, but the colder air is finally starting to take a move to the east. It looks like Thursday night could be the transition time of, in terms of temperatures in the eastern part of the nation. Still hanging on to some warmth, at least early in the day on Thursday, which happens to be October 31st, Halloween day. But then by Friday evening, the colder air starts to become more noticeable and reaches the mid-Atlantic coastline, the northeast U.S. coastline, and continues to exist throughout the Midwest and northern plains and even down across the south central U.S. And it looks like once that colder air gets in here, let's say by Friday into the eastern U.S., it'll stick around for a while. Not necessarily brutally cold, but this is going all the way into the end of the weekend here. A 10-day forecast map from last night's European model run. Still below normal temperatures over the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S. This is as long into the future as next Sunday night. So a lot going on here. A tropical wave in the Gulf of Mexico will produce a significant rain event from the Gulf Coast all the way to the Ohio Valley, and then some heavier rainfall moves into the Mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. on Sunday. A very significant cold air outbreak for the much of the Rocky Mountain states, the plains, during the early and middle part of next week. Maybe some record low temperatures being set out in that part of the country. The colder air finally works its way into the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. around Thursday or Friday time frame of next week. So that's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.